Well, that didn't last long, did it? We just started using the new 2023 EM guidelines, but it seems that the AMA already found it necessary to give us some technical corrections and errata, what also affected EM coding. The changes were communicated on the 1st of February and March, but please note that all changes are effective retroactively to the beginning of the year, the 1st of January. AM coding was affected by 2 clarifications on data points, 2 guideline changes, and a typo correction for time-based coding. First of all, the definition of independent interpretation was clarified by adding the last sentence. A test that is ordered and independently interpreted may count both as a test ordered and interpreted. This is to clarify that independent interpretation is not the same as simple results review. An example is if the provider sends the patient for a brain MRI to an independent diagnostic facility. This order itself will count as one data point for the provider. Then the patient gets the imaging done and returns to the provider. Now 2 things can happen from here. The provider can elect to review results from the radiologist or other third parties, in which case there will be no further data point because we understand that the original order for the brain MRI also covers the result review. Alternatively, the provider might choose to review the images himself, for which now we will assign an additional data point thanks to the technical correction. And it makes sense because independent interpretation is way more professional work than simply reviewing results. Please remember that independent interpretation can only be counted as a data point if the service is not otherwise reported by the provider. The technical corrections don't change this. We still need to choose to either bill for interpretation with its own CPT charge or add it towards the EM level as a data point, but we cannot do both. The other definition change regards appropriate sources and the document review data element. It states that for the purpose of documents reviewed, documents from an appropriate source may be counted. Now, why was this clarification necessary? Because in order to count a document as a data element, we need the document to be 2 things: external and unique. The problem is that when we define these terms, we quickly discover that lawyers, parole officers, case managers, teachers, and other appropriate sources are not covered by current definitions. We have physicians, other qualified healthcare professionals, all kinds of facilities, home healthcare agencies, etc. under the current definitions, but no appropriate source. The technical corrections solve this problem and now allow us to count documents from said appropriate sources as a data points toward the EM level. If we have a long document from a lawyer, that can count as a data point from now on. Well, rather from January, but we cannot go back to the past, so technically from now. There were 2 minor guideline changes as well. The clarification on outpatient versus inpatient status was removed from the introductory guidelines of outpatient visits. The removed sentence read, "A patient is considered an outpatient until inpatient admission to a healthcare facility occurs," and the word was exchanged in the nursing facility service guidelines. Instead of an immediate care facility, we now have the correct term intermediate care facility for individuals with intellectual disabilities. Finally, we have a correction to the prolonged services time calculation table, where one of the time ranges was incorrectly listed as 80 to 99 minutes. The correct time should have been 85 to 99 minutes. Thank you and have a good one.